Hello and welcome to Arts Alive Film. My name's Tony Lindsay.
And I'm Tony Lloyd.
So what have you got for them this week, Tim?
Well, we've got an action-packed episode for this week. We're going to be looking at Fast and Furious 7, latest in the franchise, and the new Keanu Reeves film, John Wick.
Wow.
Let's get to work.
Hey, Roman, you freaking out?
No.
Yes, you are.
Can somebody just walk me through what we're supposed to be doing?
Justin, you didn't think it could get any better, huh?
Here we go.
7 in.
7 minutes in and I was ready to get out.
7 minutes in, yeah. 7 films in. It's a curiosity. That's all. It's a curiosity on a big scale.
Yeah.
How much did it cost?
180 million. 180.
Is that all?
Yeah, 180 million.
Okay.
Let me give you
85
some. Let me give you some statistics here. 340 cars were used. 230 were totaled. Okay, that's about as big as the drama gets in this.
It's a strange one, isn't it? I mean, we're 7 in. I mean, we were talking then before. Even Dirty Harry only got to 5.
And that kind of filtered out.
That kind of filtered out. So 7 in. What could you expect? So if you're a Fast and Furious fan, what would you want?
Well, Fast and Furious 1, Rob Cohen directed.
Great director.
Is about the cars. I mean, he did all that kind of camera in under the bonnet. CGI stuff, and it was all about, you know, petrol heads and
car heisting, though, wasn't it?
Car heisting.
The guys were under the law, weren't they?
Yeah, and yeah, okay, it worked. For what it was, it worked. But since then, the stories have been going more preposterous by the
film.
By the film.
But you know, this particular film though is kind of famous for losing one of their stars,
Paul Walker, of course.
Paul Walker, who in real life sadly died in an automobile accident.
Midway through the filming of this.
So left them in a bit of a lurch. So the film then becomes this strange homage to him, really. How are they gonna?
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do, you know, he got killed or whatever. They've been a bit too crass.
Well, they use his two brothers, don't they, as body doubles, and there's a lot of CGI work going on to. But
there's a little bit of emotional manipulation going on here.
Yeah, very much so, very much so.
I mean, what's the script like? Come on, Mr. Writer.
The script's appalling. Some of the lines in there had the audience we sat with laughing.
And I guess if any of you guys and women who love action movies, and you'll love the action in it because
I love action
it's incredible.
Movies.
But you'll guess every other line.
Yeah.
You'll sit there and if you're big on action movies, you'll guess every other line.
Well, Chris Morgan, the writer, is back for the 7th. I mean, I think he's written most of them. So he's the one to blame, maybe, I don't know. But the plot is more Mission Impossible this time round, isn't it?
Absolutely.
They're taking on the brother of the villain from Fast and Furious 6, who I don't know if you remember was Jason Statham is Luke Evans' older brother. He's an East End lad, ex-Special Forces, who's gone rogue.
Ghost, Black Ops,
absolutely.
all the words we know.
And he and the team are both competing for this digital device surveillance device called God's Eye, and that's the MacGuffin of the piece, if you will. And of course, working around
done quite well in Person of Interest, the TV show.
Right, okay. But as you said before, this is A-Team built to the max, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an episode of the A-Team, given 185 million, if you can imagine that.
Yeah, it's the plot is preposterous, the characters are preposterous.
The action is incredible.
Yeah, it is, but it's loads of CGI work. I don't know how much is stunts and how much is CGI.
Yeah, but I think what you've got to do, no matter, even, you know, you have the Avengers or whatever, people make a universe that's believable. There are certain, even in the most incredible worlds, there are laws and certain things which makes this world believable. And I did not feel the world was believable,
No,
especially in the latter half when there's incredible destruction in a city. They're the most laconic reacting city in the whole world, considering the buildings and the towers are being blown up.
And there are no police helicopters around when you
No,
need
there are no
them.
airborne. There's a couple of poor police guys in a two or three police cars.
Oh, they get totaled, and we don't worry about them.
Yeah,
police
they get
officers are getting
grenades
totaled.
and blown up, and
you don't worry about that. But if you like the Fast and Furious, you're gonna like this.
Of course you are. If you like action and you're young, you're gonna. It is going to be something else. But I think if you are aficionados of action, you're going to want much more.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what is great in it. You've got Kurt Russell.
Oh, Kurt Russell, he's the highlight. I mean, a big
old
favourite.
Snake Plissken himself.
Yeah, indeed.
Wandering around with the coolest night vision glasses you've ever seen.
A touch of class.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. It's great to see him there. But not one of this certainly isn't going down as one of my films of the year. No. I know Vin Diesel has actually spoken up and said he wants this to be nominated for Best Picture. I kid you not, next year at the Oscars.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop messing.
Okay, which brings us on to John Wick.
John Wick. Now, I enjoy John Wick. Keanu Reeves is an action star. I've got more and more, obviously, since The Matrix. You know, he was Bill and Ted, and it was in Bill and Ted, and he was this kind of goofy teenager, and then he kind of matured, and under the radar came The Matrix.
Or Speed before that.
Speed.
I thought he was great in Speed.
Yeah.
Matrix 1 was good. The next two were a bit.
So he set himself up, but he's been directing his own stuff. He's been directing Man of Tai Chi, which he directed himself, and obviously
documentaries on film versus digital.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's been paramount in that. But I like him. So what do we think of the film then? Who is John Wick?
John Wick. It's I don't know if you remember the John Borman classic, Point Blank.
Yeah, Marvin.
A tale of revenge and redemption. That's what this is. It's almost tech noir at times, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
so this guy is an assassin. He's been an assassin. He's in retirement, and something happens which brings him out of retirement.
Yeah. Somebody shoots his dog. Kid you not.
And when he comes out of retirement, what is hysterical and which is really good, well handled, I thought, was the reactions to everyone when they realise who they've been messing with. So you get a real sort of sense of foreboding of who is this guy, because the guy we've seen so far is Mr. Ordinary.
Yeah, he was grieving over the death of his wife.
Yeah,
his wife leaves him this dog puppy.
Who's going to take him,
bring
to the
him
next
out
stage
of himself,
get over his grief.
And of course, then it's unfortunate enough to meet up with Alfie Allen, our own Alfie Allen, playing the father of a Russian gangster.
Son of a Russian.
Sorry, he's playing the son. His father is played by Michael Nyquist,
who we saw in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the original.
Oh right, of course.
He played the reporter in there, which was great.
And so Alfie kills the dog and sets off the plot.
He has no idea who John is. Yeah. And then they get small, but John Wick had helped set up this empire, this mobster
which he's now about to dismantle brick by brick.
Yeah.
But you've got Willem Dafoe in there, you've got Ian McShane looking really cool.
And they used, the world is quite believable. Yeah. You got this fantastic hotel for assassins, which is
and it's all shot through in this fantastic gunmetal greys and blues. Cinematographer Jonathan Seller does the business,
and the action sequences again are very balletic.
Well, who are the directors? Chad Stahelski and uncredited David Leith. Now they both worked as stuntmen with Keanu, stunt doubles on The Matrix, and over the years they've wanted to do this, put this thing together.
So the action sequences are, they pay homage to John Woo especially. Yeah, The Killer. You've got, what else have you got in there? You've got. Well, it's just very balletic, isn't it?
Absolutely. But they've cited the noir classics themselves, but also the writer, who is Derek Kolstad, cited Stephen King and Alistair MacLean. I don't know if you remember Alistair MacLean. He's more our generation, isn't he?
Yeah.
He'd said that he wanted to set up this world that Alistair MacLean was really good at setting up these kind of environments, these worlds, and Stephen King was very good at setting up characters that you weren't sure how far they would go, what kind of extremes they would go to. So that was our inspiration for John himself. But yeah, again, if you're an action fan, you're going to love this.
There's some good one-liners in there, and of course, the massive nod to the various incarnations of Clint, especially the spaghetti westerns.
Indeed, the Man with No Medley.
There's a real vibe of that. Very little said. I think they actually said, you know, we love the idea of not much backstory, so you have to fill in the gaps.
And subtitles are handled really imaginatively as well.
Yeah, they are.
So there's a lot of pluses for it, but I think for me, I've seen this story 101 times now, and I want to see something differently. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I like seeing Keanu. I like his manner. I like where he's coming from, and I think that the boys have done a good job at
it's doing
a stab at what's been done been before, and you know you can't deny the references, and I like that. But you know, if they get another one, it might be even tighter. Yeah,
it could be a franchise in the making here. Yeah, but it's doing good business, isn't it?
Good. I'm glad it is. So if you're a big actioner, I think you should see John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all for part one. What have we got coming up in part two, Tony?
In part two, we have an interview with local filmmaker Illy, followed by a preview of some of the films coming up in the week ahead on your television. So, see you then.
Great.
Hello and welcome back to part two of Arts Alive Film, coming to you from the Odeon Liverpool 1.
Right, so in this section, me and Thee, what are we doing?
Well, a little break from the format, the normal format. We're going to review preview some of the films coming your way on television over the next week. We're going to see if we can pick out some nice juicy classics.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, tonight, Beetlejuice is showing.
We got Beetlejuice on, Michael Keaton,
Tim Burton, but this was their first collaboration together, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Great surreal comedy.
Winona Ryder in there.
Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Take a look at the art direction itself.
German expressionist to the max, was there?
But it's by way of Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers.
Absolutely. And on 5, so what channel's that on?
That is on Freeview 5.
5-star there.
Yeah.
Also, what we've got at 10 o'clock tonight is we've got the Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, Joss Whedon.
Slasher film where you think it's going to be the typical kids get lost in the woods type thing, but there's a great twist on it.
The ultimate postmodernist horror film.
Twist, yeah. Well worth a look.
Yeah, get a look at the effects and out of this world towards the end. Do hang on for that climax. Yeah. Okay, Wild Things. Hello. That's the erotic thriller with Neve Campbell.
Erotic thriller? Did you say?
Matt Dillon. Bill Murray's also in there. Yeah, give that a look if you're up for that. Monsters Ball is on Sky Movies. Sky Movies at 9:40.
Billy Bob Thornton
and Heath Ledger himself, the Joker himself. Really very moving drama.
It's very good.
Mark Forster directs that. He
man of World War Z fame.
That's the guy. But yeah, really good. I think Halle Berry got an Oscar for that one.
She did. Yeah.
But do see that. Moving on to Wednesday, we've got Shannon Doe, one of my favourite actors of all time, James Stewart.
Yes.
I think this is one of his last westerns, but it's a real tearjerker, so get the tissues out.
So what channel's that on?
That is on More 4.
Okay. And I'm going to pick Roy Ward Baker directed Hammer film, which I absolutely adore.
Yes.
Horror story with a twist. Horror story with a twist. Even. We've got Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. Ralph Bates starring as the titled Dr. Jekyll with the Strange.
Right, yeah, and of course he turns into a woman in this
What?
one. This was done years before the Sean Young version.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the lady who plays his wife is actually was married to Rolf at the time, wasn't she?
That's right, yeah. So great atmosphere, as always with
Martina Beswick.
Martina Beswick. Great atmosphere, foggy streets of L Street.
And then, okay, get this, Sky Movies drama, you've got Champion with another legend, Kirk Douglas, playing a prize fighter. One of the Hollywood classics. Douglas was known for playing these really gritty, juicy parts like The Detective Story, Champion, etc.
Ace in the Hole.
Ace in the Hole. This is one
classic.
of the best. Try and see that. That's on tomorrow.
So
okay, moving on.
Oh, on Film 4 on Thursday night we've got the reworking of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Those might be a fan of the 1979 Alec Guinness version, but this one's a good one.
Oh no, this one is it's a modern classic. It's shot like a 70s thriller. The colour palette itself is superb. No, Gary Oldman makes a great George Smiley, and he's got Colin Firth. Mark Strong in there.
He's got to root out the traitor
in MI6. Benedict
Fantastic
Cumberbatch.
Production design. You just feel like you're looking back into the 70s. You know,
Tom Hardy's in there as well.
Tom Hardy's in there.
Great cast, great story. Well done. 10 out of 10. The spy thriller.
Well, the other one I've chosen is a kind of cultish one, Spike Jonze one, Hair with Joaquin Phoenix,
right.
where he kind of falls in love with his computer operating system's voice, voiced by Scarlett Johansson.
I haven't seen this, but I believe it is.
It's touching. It's very touching, and it's a great turn by him. And on last one for Friday.
Okay, Friday. Well, what have we got here? 127 Hours. Danny Boyle's drama. With James Franco, who's the guy who comes a cropper cave dwelling. He has to survive. He has to cut his own arm off.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story, but a great performance by James Franco. For me, this is where Franco kind of broke away from that male model type.
Yeah.
He became a true actor.
Yeah. I'm going to go for Film 4, The Yellow Sea. Brilliant Asian. Crime thriller, just incredible. They really are, for me, showing how these narratives done.
These are favourites of yours.
Absolutely. Yellow Sea, can't beat it. Tough watch, but rewarding.
So there you go, a few top choices for you. See what you think.
Now we're going to be talking to Liverpool filmmaker Illy.
Illy, thanks for coming in and seeing us today. Tell us something about where it all began. How did you get involved in directing?
Well, in directing, it took me approximately 25 years to get to directing, but in the business, it started as a 15-year-old kid in the south end of Liverpool. I was no different to the kids today. I was a member of a gang, and it got to the stage where the police said to me, you've got two roads, you go down that road and become a good kid, or you carry on down here and you're going to end up in prison or dead. And it's the same ultimatum most of these kids have got today. And I said, well, I'll go down that one. And they said, right, we've got you a job. And he took me along to this building. It's knocked down now. It's the old David Lewis Hotel.
Okay.
Underneath was the theatre.
Okay.
I got taken in there. They said, there's your new apprentice. And I started as a chippy in the theatre.
You've worked on, let's go through your CV. You've worked on what? Brookside, Hollyoaks, Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Can you say Casualty?
Doctors, Moving On, River City. I'm in the process of making 2 community films. Basically what I do is I take a group of 20 young people and we come up with an idea, we write it, we then cast it using the 20 young people, and I show them how to operate the camera, swing the boom, light it. We bring makeup and designers in, we teach them, we get guest speakers and they all talk about the job. Eunice Art helps us out. Do you know Eunice? Yeah. She comes along and shows us all the stunts. She's Angelina Jolie's stunt double.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And over the course of the project, which is something like 15 days, we make approximately a 10-minute short film.
What I'd love to ask as well, and it kind of, you've obviously done the high-end commercial, and you obviously haven't forgotten community, you work within the community. I mean, I know there are different demands and disciplines for each area. Which one do you prefer? Which one, you do obviously both, which one do you prefer?
I prefer the community work. It's stimulating, and it's great to see young kids coming to life. And the teachers are telling you they're stupid. The kids just need stimulating. And once you go in there and you talk to them on their level, in their language, and you give them responsibility, they come to life and they take over. And then as the programme evolves, you just step further and further away from it, and you see them grow as individuals, and it really is great to see.
Well, that's a great legacy to leave behind, isn't it?
Cheers.
It's been a joy meeting you. Thanks so much for coming in, Illy.
Cheers, my friend.
Pleasure.
Great.
Thank you very much.